You got the email this morning. Or maybe it was the meeting nobody warned you about. Either way, the job you built your identity around for years is gone, and you're sitting in your car afterward, not even crying, just staring at the steering wheel, wondering who you even are without it. You keep asking the same question on repeat. Did I fail? Or was I never good enough to begin with? Here's what you need to hear before you spiral any further into that question. You're not being discarded. You're being rebuilt. And rebuilding always looks like breaking, right up until the moment it doesn't. Here are 6 signs Jesus isn't done with you. He's remaking you. Sign 1, the old version of you has to come apart first. You keep grieving who you used to be, the title, the routine, the version of yourself that had it together. It's a real loss and it's allowed to hurt. But look at what Jesus said about this exact process. Unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. The seed doesn't get to keep its shape and also become the harvest. It has to fully come apart first. The version of you that's ending right now isn't being erased out of cruelty. It's being emptied out so something with a bigger yield can grow from what's left. That's not destruction. That's the exact mechanism growth has always required. Think about how strange that image actually is. A seed sitting untouched in a jar looks intact, preserved, safe. But it will never be more than one seed for as long as it stays that way. The only way it multiplies is by disappearing into the ground first, in the dark, where nobody can see it happening. If your old identity is disappearing right now, that darkness isn't the absence of a plan. It's the plan working exactly the way it's supposed to. Sign 2, you're being stripped of what you used to lean on. The confidence you used to have wasn't really you, it was your job title, your paycheck, your 5-year plan. And now that it's gone, you feel exposed, like you don't know how to stand without it. Peter knew this feeling. Before he became the rock the church was built on, Jesus let him fail publicly. 3 denials in front of people on the worst night of his life. Every ounce of Peter's self-assurance, the same confidence that made him boast, even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you, was stripped away in a single night. What got rebuilt in him afterward wasn't confidence in himself. It was confidence in Christ instead. That's a different foundation entirely, and it's the only one that doesn't collapse the next time life gets hard. Notice what Jesus didn't do after that failure. He didn't lecture Peter about it or make him earn his way back through some probationary period. By a fire on a beach, after the resurrection, he simply asked Peter 3 times. Once for every denial, "Do you love me?" No mention of the failure. Just an invitation to rebuild, question by question, in the exact place the breaking happened. Sign 3, your prayers are getting honest instead of polished. You've noticed you're not praying the way you used to. No more neat, composed sentences. Just raw questions. Sometimes just silence or a few words or something closer to anger than worship. That's not spiritual decline. Look at Job, a man who lost everything in a single day and whose prayers afterward weren't polished at all. He said things like, "Why did I not perish at birth?" God never rebuked him for the honesty. What God responded to eventually was the relationship underneath the honesty, the fact that Job kept talking to him instead of walking away. Polished prayers can be performance. Honest ones are usually where the real rebuilding starts because you can't rebuild a relationship on words that aren't actually true. Sign 4. People are underestimating you right now, and it doesn't matter. Somebody looked at where you are right now, unemployed, uncertain, starting over, and made a quiet judgment about you. Maybe you felt it in the room. Maybe you're the one making that judgment about yourself. David was anointed king while he was still tending sheep. The job his own father hadn't even bothered to call him in from when Samuel came looking for Israel's next king. His own family had ranked him last. God picked him anyway, specifically saying, "People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Being underestimated in a season like this one isn't a verdict on your future. Sometimes it's just proof that what's being built in you isn't visible yet from the outside. Sign 5, you're learning to wait without a guarantee. This is the hardest one. You don't know what's next. There's no 5-year plan anymore. No clear next step, just an open, uncertain stretch of time with no promise attached to it. Abraham's nephew's story isn't the one people quote here. Abraham's own is. He was promised a son in his old age, and the promise didn't come with a timeline. He waited 25 years between the promise and Isaac's birth, with nothing but the promise itself to hold onto in the meantime. Waiting without a guarantee isn't wasted time, even though it feels like it. It's the specific kind of trust that can't be built any other way, because trust that only shows up once you already have proof isn't really trust. It's just math. 25 years is long enough to raise a whole generation. Long enough to bury the version of yourself that expected a quicker answer, and grow into a version that can hold uncertainty without falling apart from it. Abraham didn't get faster answers as he got older. He got a steadier grip on the one who was giving them. That steadiness is usually the actual point of the wait, more than the thing being waited for. Sign 6. A new purpose is forming that you can't fully see yet. Every so often, in the middle of the uncertainty, something unexpected surfaces. A pull towards something you never considered before. A small idea that keeps returning even though it makes no logical sense given where you are right now. Joseph's brothers meant to destroy him when they sold him into slavery. Years later, once the full picture was visible, Joseph told them plainly, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." The purpose wasn't visible in the pit or the prison. It only became visible looking backward, once the rebuilding was finished. If something new is quietly forming in you right now, even if it makes no sense yet, that's not distraction. That might be the actual shape of what's being rebuilt. It's worth saying plainly, Joseph didn't feel purposeful in the pit. He didn't feel purposeful in Potiphar's house, or in the prison cell where he was forgotten for 2 extra years after doing someone a favor. Purpose rarely announces itself in the moment it's forming. It only becomes obvious in hindsight, once enough time has passed to see the whole shape of it. You're not required to see the whole picture right now. You're only required to keep showing up inside whatever small, strange pull you're currently feeling. So look at where you actually are. The old version of Sign 5, you're learning to wait without a guarantee. This is the hardest one. You don't know what's next. There's no 5-year plan anymore. No clear next step, just an open, uncertain stretch of time with no promise attached to it. Abraham's nephew's story isn't the one people quote here. Abraham's own is. He was promised a son in his old age, and the promise didn't come with a timeline. He waited 25 years between the promise and Isaac's birth, with nothing but the promise itself to hold onto in the meantime. Waiting without a guarantee isn't wasted time, even though it feels like it. It's the specific kind of trust that can't be built any other way, because trust that only shows up once you already have proof isn't really trust. It's just math. 25 years is long enough to raise a whole generation. Long enough to bury the version of yourself that expected a quicker answer, and grow into a version that can hold uncertainty without falling apart from it. Abraham didn't get faster answers as he got older. He got a steadier grip on the one who was giving them. That steadiness is usually the actual point of the wait, more than the thing being waited for.